What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. We're here with another KeyForge Archon tournament game from the Dragon in Milton, Ontario, brought to you by these awesome supporters of the channel that back us over at patreon.com. If you'd like to support the channel and the work we do here, you can do that by clicking the link in the description below. Thank you so much for the support, guys. All right, and this one we got on the left side, we got Shadows, Dis, and Mars. On the right side, we got Mars Untamed, and it looks like... I can't really tell, it's a little far away. A little blurry. We'll find out in a sec, I'm sure. Alright, so we got Niflheim to start, first player, going on the right side. Then on the other side, we got Moon Cursor coming in. He's got the Skirmish and Poison, Fight, Steal 1. Little 1 power Shadows creature. And we got Relentless Whispers coming in. Which is deal 2 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, steal 1. The opponent choosing to hit the Niflheim instead of kill his own Moon Cruiser just to get the Stolen Amber, which obviously the opponent doesn't have. Doesn't make sense to do it now. Might as well just get the Amber for playing the card and do a little damage. Makes sense. Apologize for not posting videos in a while. Just been a little sick, and then went to a bunch of KeyForge tournaments. Had a great FFG Premier Play event in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Went to that. Played KeyForge for 2 days straight. It was good times. So we got Soft Landing on the other side, bringing in John Smith, readied. And he's a nice Mars creature to bring into play ready, since he's able to ready non-agent Mars creatures after he reaps or fights. But in this case, there is no other Mars creature, so he's just going to reap, gain 1. So a little slow start here for both players. Not an exciting explosion yet here. A board with just 1 creature plays here each turn. And 1 Amber. So we got Charette coming in, capturing only 1. And the Terror working with Charette there to come in with no Amber on the opponent's identity card there. You're able to steal 2. And then we have a Mind Barb gaining an Amber, and discarding a card at random out of his opponent's hand. Looks like Logos is the 3rd house in the deck on the right that I couldn't tell there. Maybe you guys could see it. I don't know. So we got Snudge, very powerful disc creature, 4 power. After he fights or reaps, you can return a artifact or flank creature to its owner's hand. And in this case, the opponent only has flank creatures in Niflheim and John Smith, but no artifacts yet. So I just want to give a shout out to all the nice players I met, and some of the players from Toronto that I met recently at other tournaments at the FFG Premier Play event in Toronto. A bunch of great crew doing pods all day. Some nice friendly faces, some great opponents, some fun people came down from Winnipeg. There's people came from north of Toronto, west of Toronto, people from the Toronto area. I'm sure other places too. I saw some friends from Montreal. And yeah, it was a good time to see everybody and just play KeyForge all day. So I just want to say a shout out to all the players there for being friendly. No one was a dick, and so that was good, and it was fun all around. So we got Mothership support, gaining an Amber, dealing deal 2 damage for each friendly ready Mars creature, and you may distribute that damage to a different creature each time. So he just hits Moon Cursor, sorry. With the 1 John Smythe on the board. Then we have Shatterstorm coming in. You lose your Amber, then your opponent loses 3 times as much Amber. So I think he lost 1 Amber there to destroy 3 of his opponent's Amber. And John Smith's going to reap after that and gain an Amber. So the opponent on the left has a nice 3-creature disc board here. Could just keep naming discs and probably fight the opponent, do some reaping, control the board, but he chooses Mars, obviously, going Battle Fleet, getting an Amber, and he gets to reveal Mars cards from hand and draw that many. So he dumps down 4, and it makes sense why he went with Mars here. He's going to plow through his deck. Maybe he drew into some other Mars cards, too, to have an even more crazy Mars turn. Let's see what he gets out here. So he drops down a Mother Gun. And Compod, which is an artifact out of Mars. Action, reveal any number of Mars cards from your hand. For each card revealed this way, you may ready 1 Mars creature. That is pretty powerful. So you might want to hold back a Mars card or 2 this turn, depending on what creatures he lays down here. So we got Mind Warper. He's a bad one. Bad for his opponent. Then we got a Quick Slicks Plague Master, which is a Martian scientist creature, 3-power Fighter Reap. Deal 3 damage to each human creature. This damage cannot be prevented by armor. So great anti-sanctum Mars creature there. I don't think he'll play too much of a part in this matchup unless the player on the right here has Dominators or something in his Mars deck, or in the Mars portion of his deck. So we got Titan Mechanic hitting the flank there, reducing keys by 1, but quickly covered up by a Ganymede Archivist. And Quixo up on the right flank there. So Sloppy Lab Work, going to gain an Amber off that. Then he'll archive a card and discard a card. And it looks like he discards the Phosphorus Stars, the one that stuns each non-Mars creature and gain 2 chains. Doesn't really want to hit his board also there, it looks like. And his opponent has 2 Mars creatures, so it only hit 3 of his opponent's creatures before of his own. So it makes sense why you'd want to not hold on to that right now. So we see the player on the left has tons of shadows in hand, it looks like, which he's going to do. And he's got another Relentless Whispers there, gaining an Amber, dealing 2 damage to a creature if it destroys that creature. Steal 1, which obviously it'll kill John Smith, only being 2 power. Master Plan coming in, shoving a card under Master Plan, which he will be able to pop later with the Omni on Master Plan there to play that card. And then we have a Seeker Needle. And it looks like he's debating putting Bad Penny here on the right flank, and it is. Bad Penny is now in play. And the player on the left continuing to build his board here, just emptying his hand, getting through his deck really fast, and you can see how quickly he's built up a giant board. Instead of just focusing on that 3 disc creatures he had in play or the Mars turn, he's just continuing to focus on his hand. And why not when his opponent's only at 1 Amber and doesn't really have much of a board going on. But he does have 3 Logos creatures. So we have EMP Blast here, getting an Amber, stunning all Mars and robot creatures, which is a good time for the player on the right to play that since John Smythe just left. So there's the Mars creatures getting stunned, and then all artifacts are destroyed. So it wipes the opponent's artifacts there. Also didn't hurt the player on the right at all, so not a bad turn to play that. Then Zorg coming in, who will be stunned right away. We know Zorg, when he fights, I think it's before fight, he stuns the creature he's going to fight and his neighbors. Pretty sure there's a text on Zorg. Maybe not word for word. Mind Warper on the other side now. So both have pretty big creature battle lines here. A little bit of stun happening. But neither player has forged a key yet here. Let's see if the player on the left finally decided he has a decent enough board. He's just going to go for something he has in play here. And just, yeah, he's going to go disc. Makes sense. He's got 3 disc creatures. Maybe has some in hand. And he's able to get to 6 Amber now. He has a Mind Bar pop off here. He's going to take a card from his opponent's hand. It looks like he got a Zizix the Many there. It's another Mars creature. Yeah, it looks like he is holding a few discards in hand. Dis or dis, tomato. And Dust Imp hit in play when he's destroyed. He gets 2 Amber, and then he's got a Tentacus, and the one that steals 1 as an action. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I think it's a Pit Demon, pretty sure. So we got Snudge fighting Quixo, killing Quixo, taking 3 damage, and he's going to return a flank creature to hand. Might as well hit Zorg. He's going to come back into play stun if we do see him again. And it looks like Terror and Charette are just going to reap to get a couple more Amber. So he's going high above. So now the opponent on the left, I guess he was under forging. I missed what happened there. I thought he had enough to forge before that turn, but I guess not. I hope they didn't miss the forge step there. Looks like he's at 7 right now, but may have some amber under there. Looks like a little bit of it's piled. So it's hard to tell what the player on the left has for amber. So now I think we're over to the player on the right here. And he's staring at quite the battle line across the table. Now, you know the opponent can just continue naming discs going forward and has 6 creatures to fight and or reap with. Not to mention the Dust Imp he can kill to gain 2 amber. So he has a path to victory right now with the board state. And he can continue to use those creatures, maybe fight the opponent, reduce what he brings into play. We have Dexter coming in, capturing 1. Okay, so the opponent had 8 on the left. Now he's at 7 after that capture. So we got Bat Drone coming into play. It's got that skirmish, fight, steal 1.
Yeah, it seems like a jet. It doesn't look anything like a bat. Right.
So it doesn't look like the deck on the right has many artifacts. He's running EMP Blast, hasn't played any artifacts. And we got Tentacus on the other side there, who your opponent must pay you 1 in order to use an artifact. So I'm not sure that will really come into play at all. But he is still a body on the board that can reap on the disc turn. Can the player on the right get the player on the left off of a key?
You don't own any KeyForge? No, I have like 16 decks at home. I just have them at home.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna reap with those 2.
So we got the Archivist and the Titan Mechanic reaping for 2, bringing the player on the right up to 4 amber. Still not in check. Archives the card off the reap ability off the Ganymede Archivist. And we have a phase shift to play a non-logos card. And we got Zorg making a play again, but still not dealing with that snudge across the board. It's most likely going to mean we're going to see Zorg go back to hand, but in this case I might choose Bat Drone actually to go back to hand. He can be a little more dangerous than a stunned Zorg. I'd be more worried about the Logos board than the Mars board right now on the player on the right's battle line. So we got our first KeyForged. On the left side here, 1 amber remaining. And it looks like he's using gold meeples for keys. So Pit Demon's going to do his action to steal. We have a disc turn here, obviously. I assumed right that that's where he'd go going forward. As long as he got 6 creatures of 1 house on the board, why not? Just looking through his hand. He does have a discard in hand, but it's gateway to disc, it looks like. So he'd probably want to discard that. And we got Dust Imp fighting Bat Drone. 2 for 2. They both die. Or both are destroyed, so the Dust Imp will gain 2. I assume you reap with Snudge since he's 1 away from dying. So he's going to get an amber off the reap and return Zorg back to hand. In that case, I might have sent Mind Warper back to hand since Zorg was stunned. But I mean, with Mars, you never know. You could get the stun off of Zorg and in the same turn ready him up with any of the Mars effects. But what's the one I'm thinking of? The 1 amber, ready a Mars creature, stun a non-Mars creature. Can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, so maybe Zorg. He's more worried about the threat of more stun. So the Terror is going to fight Dexter and take 3 damage. Dexter's going to go to the top of the deck, and he'll get that amber back that was captured. And the Reap 2 there, 1 with Charette, 1 with Tentacus, gain 2 more amber. And another Dust Imp. So looks like he's at 8 amber, I believe, in check right now. Going for his second key. The opponent on the right still struggling to get his first key. And this is textbook, guys. This is your learning tip from Rob's gaming table for the day. If your opponent has 6 creatures of 1 house, do everything in your power to reduce that. If I were the player on the right, I would have been running into those guys with my Titan Mechanics, my Archivist, my whatever. I'd have probably named Logos maybe a turn or 2 ago and just started fighting them. As soon as I saw the 3 on the board, I probably would have started dealing with Snudge, since he can be trouble. And then maybe we wouldn't have saw this disc board get out of control if the player on the right just focused on, you know, fighting a disc creature a turn or 2. But it looks like a big uphill battle right now for the player on the right. But I've seen crazier comebacks before. We've seen those on the channel. So we see a Hunting Witch in the hand on the player on the right and a full moon. And it looks like a Lost in the Woods, but that's all for Untamed in his hand right now. So not the best burst turn there, but he just needs to start pressuring up to 6. So he's going to do Lost in the Woods, so here's some board control. He needs to deal with, I would say, Snudge and probably Pit Demon. So Niflip and Mind Warper getting shuffled back in. He chooses Pit Demon and Tentacus. I'm not sure those are the best choices, but at least it was 2 disc bodies. Dust Imp wouldn't have been a bad call either. Just making it harder for his opponent to get some amber. So here we go, Untamed. We got a full moon into a Hunting Witch to gain amber. I don't think that Hunting Witch will live more than a turn, though. No Fog Bank to stop fighting. And that's going to be it. So only getting to 5 there, it looks like. Not enough to get into check. Yeah, I don't know what other cards he had in hand, but I might have gone Logos there just to run Titan Mechanic and the Archivists to kill, you know, Snudge and, like, the Terror. So we have a second KeyForge here on the left. So make sure you guys subscribe if you're new here. Hit that like button if you want to see more KeyForge. Make sure you share these videos around on social media. Leave any comments if you have any suggestions, constructive criticism, or I goofed up any rules, or, you know, anything like that. Anything to be helpful for future viewers, to point out anything to help us all get better at KeyForge. That's the main point here of doing these videos, is to show people, you know, we can all get better learning from mistakes, and going to tournaments is not too hardcore and too serious. So if you're thinking about going to your local store to join in a tournament, these videos here we're seeing are exactly what you'll deal with. So everyone seems fun, everyone's sharing tokens, everyone's having a good time. So you should definitely go out to your local store. Hit up the KeyForge Master Vault at keyforgegame.com, I believe it is. Hit the organized play link at the top right, and then hit the store locator link in the middle of the page somewhere there. And you should be able to use the mapping software in there to find your location and look for stores in your area that are stocking KeyForge. And some are even posting events in there, which I'd recommend. If you're a store owner watching this, or you talk to your store owner for your friendly local game store, get them to update there and put their events in there. Because I know some people, including myself, who look in there to, you know, when they're traveling or when you want to travel and you want to see where your local stores are that are hosting KeyForge events and you want to go play at them. So that's another way to get people into your store, buying product, having fun. So I'd recommend, you know, let your store owners know, or if your store owner, update that. Get in there, get that KeyForge app updated. So we got some more reaping here on another disc turn, loading up to enough amber for check with 7 for the 3rd key there on the left. On the right side, we have the Gaining Meat Archivist by himself. He needs some backup, or else he's going to lose here. He's looking at his hand. Got a lot of Logos, tons of Logos in hand, but nothing to stop the Amber Gen there, so that is it. So congrats to the player on the left. Sorry I didn't grab the names of the players at this tournament. I somehow lost that file. But anyways, thanks a lot for being here watching, guys. We got more KeyForge. I got tons more videos coming up. Got a couple tournaments where I just documented my run through the tournament. So you'll hear some deck analysis there. But yeah, stay tuned. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.